We'll begin our day, Maroon and White Universe. Yesterday was a big tennis day. Men and women found out their postseason assignments. I can tell you that both the Aggie men and women's tennis team, they'll be hosting. For the women, they ended up as the number 4 overall seed in the NCAA tournament. They will be hosting this upcoming weekend. Their opening round will be against the Metro Atlantic Conference champion Quinnipiac, 1 o'clock Friday. The other 2 schools that will be here for the regional will be Baylor and Wisconsin. You know, this regional is kind of near and dear to my heart. I'm a Wisconsin sympathizer, empathizer. I love the Badgers. It goes to do with my dear friend, Johnny O. Langham. He's no longer with us. Rest in peace. I love him to death. Him and his him and his family. Laddie Langen, Jenny, all of them. Love him to death. John was a Wisconsin guy. I watch more Badger football than you'll ever know. He was true blue. So I have an affinity for all things Wisconsin and Badger. And I hate Baylor with a never-ending, undying passion. I hate the city of Waco. I hate everything Baylor Bear. And that's not just because I hate Waco, but it doesn't hurt. So this regional got real interesting for me. I saw it announced and I go, ooh, I love Wisconsin. And then, well, I can't say the things I said when I saw Baylor. So for A&M women's tennis, beat the hell out of everyone. Yes, including Wisconsin. Now, once the women take care of business, they will host a super regional the following weekend. So beat the hell out of everyone. Congrats. The men's tennis team, they're hosting the first and second round. That's pretty awesome. Friday and Saturday. They are the 11 seed, and they get Penn and Stanford. They host, 1 o'clock Friday? Wagner. And then Penn and Stanford following. So congrats to them, too. So congrats to both the tennis teams hosting. Going to be a busy weekend at the Mitchell Tennis Center. Congratulations to them both. I forgot to throw this in there. For the women's tennis team, 5th straight year, they're opening the NCAA tournament at home. They're on a great run, a great stretch. Now, before we move on, it is the Maroon and White Notebook. Something, we're talking college and tennis, how many people caught the story out of Arkansas? It happened, I think it was announced kind of late-ish on a Friday. You know, that's a good place to bury stories. But Arkansas Athletics announced Friday that they're eliminating their men and women's tennis program. And it was a shocking announcement because, you know, everyone plays tennis. It's a great sport, good numbers. I would add it's a popular Olympic-type sport. But Arkansas was never very committed. We have the public information for 15 of the SEC schools because Vanderbilt's like private and we can't get to it. Arkansas's financial commitment was 14 out of the 15. They spent $2.35 million on the 2 programs, 14 out of 15. And we can go with what we know. 2.35, isn't that what the top coordinators make in college football? It's not. 2.35 is nothing in the grand scheme. You can't buy a transfer quarterback out of the portal for 2.35. Not one of the top 5 transfer quarterbacks for 2.35. It's not real money. And we're talking about entire programs. They spent Arkansas on both their men and women's tennis programs. Their total was less than a top 5 transfer quarterback. I want you to think about it in perspective of spending. So effectively, Arkansas wasn't committed to it anyway. For Arkansas, it's the first cut they've done in any of their athletic programs since the early 90s when Arkansas cut men and women's diving. So, and for me, this is why it's of note. Why do you care about Arkansas athletics? Why do you care about men and women's tennis? Because one of the things, and we'll just say, I don't know if they're doomsayers, but one of the concerns with the modern formula, when the 20 mil, and this is the start of a 10-year cycle that goes up every year of guaranteed revenue distribution in the House settlement, and just the escalating costs of everything NIL. One of the concerns was sports are going to be eliminated. Nobody knows which ones and nobody knows how many. And at the not our P4 level, that's already started to happen. But even on the P4 level, it would be easier to eliminate sports than check waste. Eliminate sports than to have fiscal responsibility. Eliminate sports rather than sell naming rights to stuff. And you have an SEC school, Arkansas, who allegedly is not a bottom tier. And they've got Jerry Jones. They've got Tyson. They got Walmart money. So they got money. They ain't poor. And they're cutting, I will say, one of the mainstream winter Olympic sports. So it's definitely of note. And then you see how much money, since they weren't even putting that much of an investment, they were 14 out of the 15 public, info we can get. And it's 2.35 for both programs combined, which is what a coordinator makes. Can't get you a top 5 quarterback out of the transfer portal. It's very telling that's the decision that was made. So I have found it completely fascinating myself. Now, back to the maroon and white universe. Aggie baseball, ranked number 7 in the country, 5 in the RPI. I live in an RPI-centric universe. But Aggie baseball opens up a 5-game homestand. That's against Tarleton State, the Texans. 2 teams have squared off 7 times before, and, well, the Aggies are 7-0. Last year it was 11-3. Party. The game you can hear right here on the Zone, 11:50 a.m. and 93.7 FM. 5:45 pregame. You can also hear Aggie baseball tonight on the Free Zone app, radioaggieland.com, and you can tell Alexa play Zone 11:50. We're getting late in the year, y'all. It's 11 games left. 9 SEC, 2 in the mid. Tarleton, Prairie View A&M, done. Last 2 Tuesdays are happening now. Aggies have 3 SEC series left, 2 at home. Auburn this weekend, at Ole Miss the next, and the regular season wraps up with Mississippi State. You know who you are. Your resume's almost 9 games. It can move, but it's pretty locked in. And Aggie baseball has gotten the job done. Easiest statement you can make. 33-8, 14-6 in league. Yeah, there's time for bad things, but I think you got to be pretty doomer, kind of gloomer at this point to live in fear, to be scared. If they took 2 out of the next 3 series, they'll be hosting a super. That's the easiest way to look at it. You don't have to make it overly complicated or do upper level arithmetic. Just win 2 out of the next 3. If they lose 2 out of the next 3, they'll host a regional. If they were to lose all of the last 3 left, they might host a regional. That's how good a position they're in right now. I don't kind of think in those terms. For me, you want to know what I'm looking for in the last 11 games? The continued progression of the pitching staff. That can determine Omaha or not. No, not. It will. They can. There's no reason to expect that the hitting will all of a sudden be like, oh no, what's going on? Anything is possible. That's the nature of sports. If they have one bad weekend, they'll be eliminated in the postseason. We can say this of any team. It's not an Aggie baseball thing. So that's not exactly, relevant to them. You could take any team and go, if that team's pitching staff has a bad weekend, they're going to be eliminated. If that team's, number 3 offense in the country. So that's just how it goes. But what has given you any thought that this offense is going to have an off weekend? They have yet to really do that. They've had a game. Oh, they faced one pitcher from Florida who's going to be the SEC pitcher of the year. Congrats to him. But what am I looking for in the last 11 games? Simple. Continue. Because the pitching is on a progression path. Because imagine if you go into the postseason where the pitching's good enough that you believe that they can win, but you already kind of can. You already believe Aiden Sims can win a game by himself. But if you believe that you can win a bullpen game in a postseason series and Aiden Sims can win a game by himself, you have the offense that can win all 3 games by themselves, Omaha. It's not more complicated than that. You have an Omaha team. They have a team that can win games in Omaha. Things get real. And the pitching each weekend now seems to be getting a step better. Now, they started in a deep hole, so that leaves a lot of steps to take, but they're doing it. And with 11 games left, 3 weekends, that's all I'm monitoring. Because I'm actually not worried about them winning anymore. I expect them to win. Where are you at with Aggie Baseball? You can text me at 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. Now, up next, when we return, I don't know if Logan Lee's going to show his face. Last Tuesday, I was telling him, don't worry about it. Bucky's got the portal under control. Last Tuesday, Logan's like, we ain't got no players. And, I'm like, Logan, either you trust Bucky or you don't. So I don't know if he's going to show up. When we return, I'll see where he is. Maybe he'll show up, maybe he won't. I don't control these things. Logan Lee, former player at A&M Basketball. You wouldn't know it. Former coach at A&M in Kentucky. That's Logan Lee. He'll join me inside the Charles Schwab studio. It's the Louie Bellina Show. We are just getting started on a Tuesday on The Zone.
Your home for Texas A&M Baseball is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Zone.
The Louie Bellina Show. It's still Tuesday. That much is true. And I'm joined now. He decided to show up anyway. Logan Lee. He played basketball at Texas A&M. He coached A&M Kentucky. And he joins me Tuesdays. Until the basketball news is done. If you leave it up to Bucky, that might be never. And I kind of love it to death, don't you?
I don't know. I think it might be done quickly because he's done everything he can, right?
Nope. Needs a big guy still.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
Like I said, done quickly. So maybe one more time? Maybe one more show?
This week is like nothing I have ever seen before in Aggie basketball. But before we get there, you got to share it with people because perspective, right? I gave mine where Arkansas men and women's tennis combined, it was like 2.3. What did I say? 2.25. That's it. And it was horrible because that's 14 out of 15 is spending. It was no commitment. And I said you couldn't get a top 5 quarterback in the portal. Well, you know basketball.
I do know basketball, and because we're talking basketball, and that's really all I do know, you couldn't get one Ruben Dominguez in the Xavier portal, or the Xavier portal for that amount of money.
So Ruben Dominguez got paid more by Xavier to transfer than Arkansas spent on their men and women's tennis programs combined.
Yes.
That's perspective, folks. That's what I'm talking about. And again, and Arkansas is Jerry Jones money. They've got Walmart money. They got Tyson money.
So here's my thing, though. If you're spending that little on it, why does it even matter? Like, what? That's a drop in the bucket for what your men's basketball program, for what your football program is needing, wanting, receiving. So why do it though? What does that change?
Okay.
In basketball, that will get you the 10th in Calipari's team. That'll get you the 10th man, 11th man on the roster.
Well, okay. I remember. Here's what I'm familiar with. So I don't know if it applies to everything. There are times when I've seen like A&M Athletics had debt and they had to do some big cost cutting, right? And they just went chasing all the pennies as opposed to the $100 bills. They fired someone that worked at A&M for like 25 years, because they had to do salary budget cuts, right?
Of course.
So they went and fired all the pennies.
Yeah.
As opposed to, well, here's a mill here and a mill there because we're 25 mil in debt. No. Let's go after the guy that made $35K. This is what it feels like, too. Let's get rid of tennis because we need a 15th video camera recorder for football practice, right? That's just how this goes.
But that's why okay. Sure.
But that's when I heard the whole tennis cut thing, I in general was okay. And what I mean is, look, you decide to spend the money, who makes the money and all. But when I saw the 2.35, that's when what?
That's all they're getting?
I'm like, I thought they were cutting $10 million. I thought it was money, but
Yeah.
2.35?
Yeah.
That's not even a player out of the portal.
That's why I'm saying I don't understand.
But I will say this: if you have no commitment to it and you have no heart for it, it's better than just dragging it.
Yeah, but each team had 10 student athletes. So now you're giving up on 20 student athletes and a staff, probably 5 or 6 staffers. And then what are you going to do with the facilities? You're not just going to
Parking. Every campus needs more parking.
Oh my gosh. It just seems like a headache to do for such a
Notice though,
small return.
I started with the not killing it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm stunned.
Yeah.
Okay, you could have doubled that 2.3 to 4.6, and that's not money. That's
No.
the transfer portal. We look
It's
at the
nothing.
player stuff. Yeah.
Anyways, Bucky's killing it in the transfer
Oh yeah,
portal.
back to real recruiting. Let's get back to real recruiting. But since you and I last talked, Bucky added an entire team and a top 10 team at that.
Lou, an entire team.
Didn't he?
I mean, he had some guys. I don't know. It was hard to cut through the air in here last time because it was so doom and gloom. I remember I was just trying to put a smile on your face because you were not in a good mood, and I didn't know if that was because of basketball recruiting or because of the weather outside. It's a little foggy, a little hazy.
The baseball
I
game
don't know
got
what it
canceled
was.
due to weather.
Yeah, so I don't know what it was, but I remember there wasn't an energetic vibe last time, and now I feel it. I feel like you're ready to talk and you're ready to go. You're ready to run through some walls, Lou.
I said it last week. It was the single greatest day in Aggie basketball recruiting history. It was like the Wednesday. And then he went and got the number 4 point guard in the state on Thursday.
How about that?
And then on
just
Saturday and
kept going.
Sunday, I mean, the greatest day, the greatest week. Aggie basketball has never done this in recruiting before. So this is unprecedented territory. And when the smoke cleared, this is kind of an Elite Eight type team at this point with the talent level he has.
Whoa. Look, I am all for that type of hyperbole, but
That's hyperbole? That's facts.
Oh.
They have the best backcourt combo
We need to
in
slow
the
down
SEC.
a little. I need to. I
And it's
need
probably
to
the
see
top
the.
10
I
in
need
the
to see
country.
these guys first before I can go. And,
Now who's dooming and glooming?
I'm not doom and gloom. I just said I need to see him first.
So let's walk through this.
Okay, let's.
They added G League.
Take a stroll down this
G
lane.
League, all guard, all American stud in Bryce Warren.
Which if I'm not mistaken, he still needs a waiver.
What was it? 2 or 3 others of that. I don't even know what to put. Type category played. I don't know how this works anymore. You know. Okay, you have the foreign players who played pro as one category. You have the Alabama player who played pro as another category. The G League players who didn't play pro.
But he got drafted. The Alabama player got drafted in
And
the
played in the
NBA
league.
draft and played in the
It's
league.
a category. And then you have the G League players who didn't actually play in the pro, who went undrafted. They're another category. This is all
And
getting a
then the
little
G League
crazy.
players that never played in college, so their clock technically hadn't started in college, but they played in the G League. Look, he needs to get a waiver. I'm pretty confident in it.
Yeah, because this situation, and the NCAA can wake up and do anything they want, but his situation has been cleared before
Yes,
with not much fuss and muss.
absolutely. So, but we still got to caveat that.
Bryce Warren, NBA level player, the kind of guy that carries teams.
He averaged almost 20 points a game in the G League. I get it. I still think the pro game is a different game than college. G League is a different game. Is more so like pro, obviously, but it's a different game. So there's gonna be an awakening. You've got to adjust. But if you can score 20 in the G League,
You got skills.
you can score the ball. That's just all there is to it. I want to see how explosive he is. I want to see really the way he plays the game of basketball. Pro game is different. You've got 24 seconds. And while 24 versus 30 isn't much, it's a lot. And the fact that when you're in the league, if you have the opportunity to take a shot, you take it because the game is so fast. And that's not necessarily how college is, but the way Bucky plays is very similar to that. Is if you have a shot, take it. And I don't know. I'm excited to see it, but I do want to see how it translates.
So on top of that, okay, well, you know how the week went. It still just blows
I know,
my mind.
it's awesome.
Okay,
Jalen Reese, LSU,
who again, the thing to note, the thing that everyone needs to remember, this is a player who he started the year and he was forced in before he was ready. Mm-hmm. But then you look at the end of the year, look at the 22 overtime game that A&M and LSU played at the end of the year, the war of attrition, and you saw what happened when he developed and broke out at the end of the year.
Absolutely. He continued to grow, and as a freshman and getting tossed in the mix and really not having any time to be aware of what's going on, you get thrown in. You're going to make some mistakes early on, and there are going to be some growing pains, and there are going to be some lessons learned. But you see how he ended the last, let's say, 10 games. He was on fire. He was playing well. He was solid. He looked comfortable, and his stats got better when he started playing better competition. And that just shows you the maturity and the growth that he had in half a season as a freshman. Give him an entire offseason, give him some confidence and some players around him, because that's what we're talking about, the players that are going to be around him. And all of a sudden, you've got a guard that I believe he's more of a pass-first guard. Again, we're going to have to see it in the system. I don't necessarily know. It's hard to tell how all these transfers are going to play and mesh in Bucky's system, but
brilliantly.
I mean, according to you, they're starting out at Elite 8.
We'll get back to that.
We'll get back to that. But I do think I think this is a huge pickup. A guard that can lead a team, that can push in transition, that is not afraid to play defense. I'm excited about this one.
And on the same day, because this is all same day stuff.
Yeah.
But M'Baku, okay, I know what he said back in the season. And I often laugh at that kind of thing. And let me explain. I don't laugh mean. But what else was he going to say in season? I'm out of here. The only reason I'm even still on the team is for the free meals. Like, these in-season things. Yep. No one ever says anything else. So a player goes, yeah, of course I'm coming back next year. Well, yeah, because he's still on the team right now. So I hear those things and I always go, cool. But until it's officially official, I'm that guy. I want it to be official. So when M'Baku, and that was the second thing that happened today. It's kind of funny. There was a domino thing. The first thing that happened was Bryce Warren goes, yeah, I'll play there. And then M'Baku announces, or maybe I've had an order. But so to me, it was a big deal.
I think it was M'Baku.
Yeah, but to me, it was a big deal that he is officially now coming back.
Absolutely. I think it does two things. One, obviously increases the strength of the roster, but it also validates Bucky and his system and what they're trying to do here. The two things that need to happen now, his strength and conditioning. He has to get the weight off, because sitting out for an entire season, you can't help but gain weight.
Well, it's a season and a half now.
Exactly.
It's more than a season at this point.
And so you've got to slash that weight off, and you've got to get your conditioning back, because unfortunately, he's never played true Bucky Ball type basketball. Even when he came back for those couple of games, we talked about it. He looked slow.
He was good for 3 minutes.
We didn't know he was still hurt.
He was good for like 3 minutes, right?
And he was still well, the thing is, he was trying to play through the pain. He didn't know how bad his foot was, because he had been hurt for so long, and he was just trying to get through. And then it comes back, your foot's shattered. You've got to put a plate and some screws in there, and you've got to fix it all up. And, oh, by the way, you're out for the season because this is something that you can't just try to be tough
Can't
about.
just suck it up through.
Yeah.
So that covered Wednesday. So we need to take a timeout and cover like Thursday and the weekend because it was the most incredible week ever. It truly was.
Yeah, man.
And you know what's funny? The whole time I've been thinking about the rest, I forgot they have 2 incoming freshmen. It's hard to remember them because of the portal.
Absolutely. But, man, I'm super stoked about both of them.
Yeah, I know. This is exciting. Bucky Ball is fun.
I know. I love it.
I don't remember ever thinking about Aggie basketball during the offseason because there's never been news to think about. I'm not being mean.
The only other time that I think we have talked this long into the summer or post NCAA was last year.
Oh, because Bucky was new.
Because Bucky was new, and all of a sudden he had to hire a staff, and he had to create his NIL budget, and he had to go get 14 new players. And
he could have bought a whole tennis program. We'll be right back. It's Louie Bellina. That's me. And that's him. Logan Lee, yeah. And every Tuesday we hang out inside the Charles Schwab studio. It's the Louie Bellina Show, Tuesday on the Zone.
Visit zone1150.com and get the podcast for TexAgs Live, the Louie Bellina Show, and Chip Howard Sports Talk. The podcasts are also available anywhere and everywhere you get your favorite podcasts.
The Louie Bellina Show. I'm going to stick with the Tuesday edition, presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. Faith, family, and community. That's CC Electric. Logan Lee time. We talk Bucky Ball. We happily and very excitedly talk Bucky Ball this offseason. Man, this is better than any regular season I remember. So much fun.
Easy now. Easy. We had some good seasons.
Don't get carried away.
We just scored in the 50s, but we had some good seasons.
Don't get carried away. A race to 44 is not as exciting as you think it is, okay?
I mean,
so after the
you're actually pretty spot on. So
after the Electric Wednesday, on Thursday he gets a commitment from the number 4 point guard in the state, Chase Richardson.
Yeah, man. Chase Richardson?
Is it Chase Richardson? Did I say his name wrong? Chance Richardson? What did I butcher it?
Yeah. Which one are we talking about? You're throwing me off here.
Oh, I've done worse.
We did Bryson. We did Jalen Reese, Mbako, Tyshawn Archie.
Tyshawn Archie is the McNeese State
yes
guard. Thursday was the high school kid from Texas, number 4 in the state.
Oh, from Friendswood for 27.
Dude,
that's for 27 though.
That doesn't excite you as you're going on a roll here? Number 4 point guard?
I mean, it does, but I was locked into 26. That's why I was like, what are we talking about here? There's no other guy here.
A&M basketball never recruits the top 10 kids in the state. Can't get to them.
So, since we've been going off on tangents, you know, Billy Gillespie always said that I was the number 2 point guard in the state of Texas my high school year. And he was absolutely right. There's no question. The problem was the number 1 point guard was Darren Williams, who was way so high above me that you couldn't even see where number 2 was. And he was like, that's it doesn't matter if you're number 2 when number 1 is so high, Logan. I'm like, thanks, coach.
Really? He told you that?
Absolutely, he told me that.
He told you you're number 2, but it doesn't matter?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
That doesn't sound very motivational.
Look, kids these days couldn't handle the mental warfare that we had to go through.
Oh, Billy Gillespie style? No.
Not anybody. I mean, Bob Huggins, Bobby Knight. I mean, anybody. The mental warfare made us tough. The physicality that these guys have these days, the kids, no one ever dreamed, none of us ever dreamed that there was going to be a 6'8", 225-pound 2 guard like that we would have to go against. Like, I mean, it was 6'8", 260 is Joe Jones, and that's the post that we live by. So it's just a different. It's a different style these days. Anyways, so that was my tangent because you said number four point guard in the state, and I was like,
what? Huh?
You know, that's that. We'll see.
Number 4 player in the state.
But
does that help you?
Yes, but what I'm saying is I was locked into 26, not 27.
So you mentioned you're killing me right now.
Just saying.
They did get Tyshawn Archie, McNeese
Yes.
State, another point guard, 14 points a game, shot 37% from three-point land, first team All-Southland Conference. That was Saturday.
I think that is the way that recruiting is going. You can't look at, he's coming from McNeese, or he's coming from Radford, or wherever. We talked about it last time. The recruiting is different. High school recruiting is different. Transfer portal recruiting is different. Kids from high school, they don't mind going to a small school or a mid-major for a year and pick up a little bit of NIL to get their feet underneath them, to get adjusted to the college game, to then go to a big-time program in year 2 or 3, whatever it is. And that's just how it is. If you can play, you can play. And I love the way that this staff recruits. They go and they look at the film and they say, that kid can play. We need him. It's not let's go look at his stats. Yes, it's based on stats and productivity, but you got to be able to play. And when you see a kid like Archie and you see his film and you're like, man, he's got it. He can come in and do some things for us. Now, do I think he's going to be an All-American? Probably not.
He just needs to be an all-Bucky team, not all-American. Play Bucky ball.
Without question. I think we saw it in year 1, what Bucky can do with his players when he puts them in the right position in his system. There's only been one season, but he proved it pretty well in the first season. Now let's see what he can do with a little more time, a little more NIL money, and a little higher-ranked player. You okay over there, Lou?
My headphones fell off. You saw what happened? I'm literally just sitting here. I went to scratch my ear, and my headphones fell right off my head. It's been a fascinating day inside the Charles Schwab studio. On Sunday, the word fascinating was stuck in my head. That's why fascinating acquisition. Loyola Marymount first forward, I think, in the whole class.
Easy now.
No, they're all been guards.
Cade Phillips.
You want a guard?
Cade Phillips, Tennessee, forward. Yes.
Is he?
Yes.
He's not like a combo guard?
No, man, he's big.
Yeah, he is big. Jalen Shelley, 14 points, 7 boards, and 3 assists. It's of note. He fills the stat sheet, okay? And he's just a wing. 6'8".
Yeah, man.
Athletic. I mean, exactly what you needed. I mean, duh. I mean, I don't think they're taking random players, but exactly what you needed to add to this class.
We talked about size and length last season ad nauseum, but I wrote this down before because I knew we were going to talk about it. The lineup this year, we have 6'11", 6'11", 6'11". So we have 3 6'11s, 6'9", 6'9", 6'8", 6'7", 6'5", 6'4", another 6'5", and then a 6'3" and 6'1". That is what we were hoping for last season. Now you are getting guys in the second year, the first full year of recruiting, to make the roster look like how you want it to be and how everybody expected it to be coming into this year.
A year ago, they were in the bottom 110 nationally in height.
Yep.
This year, and this is the on paper, because wasn't AG allegedly like 7'2" on and listed in the media guide?
Yeah, and then he goes to the Portsmouth Invitational, and he's like 6'5".
Okay, so we'll find out. But on paper, this team's now 6'6". They grew a lot in the transfer portal. Absolutely. And that 6'6" a year ago would have been in the top 60. Yeah. So you went from bottom 110 to top 60. And no, I mean, you need more than height. You have to be athletic and good and smart and all, but it's a big deal. It is so significant. Because how many games they go out there for tip-off and you just go, oh, boy. You just see it. You just absolutely see it. So if the other team had athleticism go the height, how many times their press struggles because you just throw the ball over them.
Yep.
You just saw it had nothing to do with talent or better coaching. You could just throw the ball over them. And if you see a team just from the 6'9", then how long do they play? And then you have the height to go with the extra length. I mean, there's everything kind of goes from there.
I just like the fact that the height was increased at every single position. Every single position. You know, the smallest guard is 6 foot, and that's the Jalen Reeves from LSU. And we know he can play. He proved it the last 10 games. He can play in the league. But man, the way that they went out and they took their time, you know, this wasn't rushed. But then when they identified people, they got them on campus, they took care of business. They closed the deal on the majority of the transfers that they wanted.
I mentioned, and I keep forgetting because we're look at next year's roster players, the incoming freshmen. Monday and Irving, is it? Mm-hmm. And you said you were excited
about both of them. Nico has been on campus for a semester, and he's young. He'll probably need this season to figure out how to play at this level, and he'll have some good guards to watch and learn from. Irving, he's going to play. He's talented. He's a legit 6'11", super athletic, can space the floor because he can shoot the three, is not afraid to be physical in the paint. You just need to add weight and strength to him.
You went right to what the question is. See, incoming freshman.
Yep.
Sure, he's got the height, but does he have the meat?
Not yet. No, I don't think he does. But I do think he's not afraid of physicality. It's just a matter of, going up against
strength.
The monsters at Florida, where they're
NBA players.
Yeah, they're just grown men, and he's an 18-year-old, maybe 19-year-old kid that's going to be going up against them. He's not. I can tell you this: he's not going to be afraid of them. It's just a matter of how productive can he be in the paint against a guy that is just as tall but weighs 25 pounds more than him.
What I'm hearing is Jamie Vincent could be one of the most key players next year.
Man, it'd be awesome if he were. It really would be. Just the quick hits that we saw, Alabama, Texas. If he can do that consistently, whoo boy, changes this team dramatically.
Logan, we got to talk again next week because we haven't talked about Elite Eight and expectations and projections yet. So we do have to talk about that, and we'll see if they add any more because it looks like it might be one. I mean, there's not much left they can do. Okay. So we will talk again next week.
Sounds good.
But I got one more text message. We got to get to it quickly.
Fire away.
Juan texted, and all text messages are from inside the Texas Mobile and Lube Express inbox, and said, "Logan's really raining on your parade, Lou. Lol, geez, or LOL, geez."
Look, the reason I'm raining on Lou's parade is because he needs to know how it feels to be doom and gloom. Because last week he was doom and gloom because A&M only had one transfer and they had like 3 people, and all of a sudden,
do you know what they call me?
Mr.
Sunshine.
Yeah, but on Tuesday you weren't.
No.
On Tuesday you mimicked the weather.
They call me Mr. Sunshine.
You were a follower of the weather. I tell my kids every morning as they leave the car,
a man who
be
hugs
a leader
puppies.
Today, y'all. Be leaders. Be nice and tell the truth. And you were trying to be nice. You told half-truths, and you were not a leader. You followed the weather.
I'm Mr. Sunshine. I'm Mr. Rainbows. I'm Mr. Puppies. And I'm Bucky Ball fired up, and you're all, no, we're not going to win a national championship.
Next Tuesday, I will come prepared to talk Elite Eight.
I don't see it. When we return, I got to wrap up our first hour together. It is the Louie Bellina Show. Logan or no Logan? Fired up or no fired up? On the Zone, yeah.
The Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. Don't ask unless you want the truth, because
you can't handle the truth.
Weekdays, 11 to 2 on the Zone.